On April 8, 2024, most of North America will be able to see at least a partial solar eclipse, and along the centerline of the path of the moon's shadow across the Earth, lucky observers will be able to see a total solar eclipse. Here in Texas, the path of totality goes from southwest to the northeast, from the Rio Grande at Eagle Pass, through the hill country, towards Dallas-Fort Worth, and then briefly into Oklahoma between Paris and Texarkana before passing into Arkansas. Being safe during a total eclipse is dependent on location and timing. For everyone outside of the path of totality, the sun is never completely blocked by the moon and can cause eye damage at any stage of the eclipse. For those viewers, the only safe ways to view the sun are through specialized eclipse glasses and viewers, telescopes with special solar filters, or through indirect means like pinhole cameras. Looking at any part of the bright sun through a camera lens, binoculars, or a telescope without a special purpose solar filter secured over the front of the optics will instantly cause severe eye injury and even total blindness. When watching the partial phases of a solar eclipse directly with your eyes, you must look through safe solar viewing glasses or eclipse glasses. You can also use a safe handheld solar viewer at all times. Eclipse glasses are not regular sunglasses. No matter how dark or if they are polarized, regular sunglasses are not safe for viewing the sun under any conditions. Safe solar viewers are thousands of times darker than any sunglasses and must comply with the ISO 12312-2 international standard. For those within the path of totality, all stages of the eclipse except for the few minutes of totality can cause eye damage if one looks directly at the sun. If you normally wear eyeglasses to correct your vision, keep them on. Put your eclipse glasses on over them or hold your handheld viewer in front of them. Stand still and cover your eyes with your eclipse glasses or solar viewers before looking up at the bright sun. After looking at the sun, turn away and remove your filter. Do not remove it while looking at the sun. Astronomers call the moment when the moon starts to cover the sun's surface Contact 1, or C1. The exact time is dependent on the viewing site and will be different for observers in different locations. The eclipse will progress with more and more of the sun being covered by the moon until Contact 2, or C2. This is the moment that the entire sun is covered by the moon. From before the eclipse through C1 and until just a few moments before C2, a solar viewer or filter must be used to protect your eyes when looking at the sun. Just before Contact 2, the sun is a very thin sliver of light. Before that sliver disappears into a brilliant diamond ring, the darkness of the unlit side of the moon becomes visible, and a bit of the sun still uncovered makes for a brilliant point of light. At this time, you can safely take off your solar filters and viewers, remove filters from telescopes, and observe the eclipse. Within moments, we see Bailey's beads. This is a phenomenon where the sun shines between mountains on the limb of the moon, appearing as bright spots of light on the dark edge. These quickly disappear into full totality when the entire sun's disk is covered by the moon. Eclipse glasses or viewers need to be used right up until the moment of totality, when the moon completely covers the face of the sun. If you are using eclipse viewers or filters at this time, you will not be able to see anything at all, so take them off. During totality, it is safe to observe the eclipse with your naked eyes, a pair of binoculars, or a telescope. You can see the white corona streamers shining around the sun, and red prominences and flares may be visible along the edge. Again, this is the only time that it will be safe to look at the sun without solar filters or viewers. Contact 3, or C3, is the end of totality, where the sun emerges from behind the moon in the reverse of what happened at C2. We will see in Bailey's beads yet another diamond ring effect, then a bright sliver of sunlight. Once this happens, you must again use your solar viewers or filters to look at the sun. The eclipse will continue in the reverse of the first part, where more and more of the sun is uncovered and gets brighter and brighter. Again, you must use the solar filters or viewers to see the partial phases from C3 onwards. Contact 4 is when the sun is no longer obscured by the moon and the eclipse is over. If you're along the centerline in Texas, you will have over 4 minutes of totality to enjoy the view. Further away, your time will be limited to 1, 2, or 3 minutes depending on your location. If you are just outside the path of totality, you will not experience a total solar eclipse. Be aware how long the eclipse will be in your location for your safety. If you're looking at the eclipse with binoculars or with a telescope at C3 when the sun emerges again, you may damage your eyes. If you're in doubt, err on safety and just use your eyes to enjoy the eclipse. Always inspect your eclipse glasses or handheld viewer before use. If it is torn, appears scratched, has pinholes, or is otherwise damaged, discard the device. Adults educated in solar safety should always supervise children using solar viewers. It is also important to never use eclipse glasses or a handheld solar viewer to look at the sun through a camera lens, telescope, binoculars, or any other optical device. The concentrated solar rays will burn through the filter almost instantly and cause severe eye injury. Even a small telescope like this 50mm refractor, with an objective lens similar in size to many common binoculars, will concentrate sunlight enough to start to burn paper, and will burn through the filter material of eclipse glasses in much less than a second. These eclipse glasses, burned by the concentrated light of the sun through the telescope, are unsafe and must be discarded. This is what happens to the inside of a telescope eyepiece when pointing a telescope at the sun and not using a proper solar filter. Just a few moments of concentrated sunlight not only melted the plastic holding the eyepiece lens, but damaged the lens itself and made it foggy and unusable. It is not difficult to imagine what would happen to someone's eye had they looked through the telescope at the time. If you have an older telescope from the 1960s to the 1990s, you may find a sun filter like this mixed in with the eyepieces. These are meant to thread onto an eyepiece for viewing the sun. These are very dangerous and should never be used. You can still find them being sold on eBay and other sites, but do not purchase them. And if you find them with an older telescope, do not use them. If you can, destroy them and throw them away so no one else can use them either. The power of the magnified sun is very likely to crack the filter from the extreme heat, and as soon as it breaks, the magnified light of the sun will then be able to enter your eye and instantly cause great damage. A number of these have been tested, and they will overheat and crack even on a small telescope. It is not worth the risk to use these at all. If you do not have eclipse glasses or a handheld solar viewer, indirect viewing methods which do not involve looking directly at the sun should be used. A pinhole projector has a small opening and projects an image of the sun onto a nearby surface. You can use an index card with a pinhole, projecting the image of the sun onto a piece of paper or any flat surface. With the sun at your back, you can then safely view the projected image, but do not look at the sun through the pinhole. You can also build a pinhole camera in a box, using a cardboard box, some white paper, tape, and aluminum foil. The foil is taped over a cutout hole in the box, and a needle or pin is used to poke a small hole in the foil. This projects the image of the sun onto the white paper inside of the box. Do not use eclipse glasses or handheld viewers with cameras, binoculars, or telescopes. Those require different types of solar filters. When viewing a partial or annular eclipse through cameras, binoculars, or telescopes equipped with proper solar filters, you do not need to wear eclipse glasses. The specialized solar filters on these optical devices do the same job as the eclipse glasses to protect your eyes. Before using a solar filter with a camera, telescope, binoculars, or any other optical device, seek expert advice from an astronomer. Local astronomy clubs around our state and across the country are helping to teach proper solar safety to the general public. Note that solar filters must be attached to the front of any telescope, binoculars, camera lens, or other optics, except for one very specific and specialized filter called a Herschel wedge. Do not ever remove a filter on a telescope or other optical device during a partial or annular eclipse, as this can cause damage to the telescope and severe injury to anyone looking through it. During any solar eclipse, please remember that the sun is very bright through the partial phases, both before and after the maximum totality. If you are watching the entire eclipse, you may be in direct sunlight for several hours. Remember to wear protective clothing, sunglasses that provide UV protection, a hat with a brim, and sunscreen for exposed skin. Just remember to never look at the sun while wearing those sunglasses. Thank you for watching, and please remember to stay safe while enjoying the upcoming solar eclipse. To support our efforts, please like and subscribe to this channel.